Okay. Given that the sharing that we're doing here, this is so important, and of course it requires lot of merit. It's not just like the academic studies, but of course the manner in which I share is more academic. It depends on the individual how you receive it, and so meanwhile, I say first of all, to get what is being shared, and then later on, how much you are able to put into action, followed by how much you will experience that. It entirely depends on many factors, and particularly the merit accumulation. It requires a lot of merit accumulation, and for example, like generosity, compassion, bodhicitta, controlling your anger, controlling emotions, and the awareness, the power of your awareness. They say when your mind becomes, when you give your mind, when you start to give up your mind, or when you give in to the negative thoughts, then the mind becomes wild. When the mind becomes wild, you cannot see the nature of your mind. The mind becomes so agitated, and then it can become like a habit. So the water of your mind will become very disturbed all the time, and because of which to see the true nature of mind will take a lot of time. And it's for this reason that usually for this teaching, it is expected that both the one who teaches this and who receives this teaching, we are all expected to accumulate so much of merit, like the 100,000 times of prostrations, medal offerings, then the refuge, bodhicitta, and all these prerequisites, preliminary practice called as the window. These are required, meant to make a mind supple and calm and fertile, to feel this, the true nature of the mind. So what we do is that both myself, the one who shares this teaching with you, and all of us, we are to make a commitment that given that this is a very precious teaching, and that that if we can truly see this, truly make the most of this teaching, then this is the incredible meaning out of one's life. And yet we should be realistic in ways that, so when you see somebody, for example, like when you see Albert Einstein, so good in physics, so naturally your mind should be, instead of thinking of, oh, I want to become Albert Einstein tomorrow, instead of that, wise people will think of how he became Albert Einstein. Or there are so many professors, and there are so many PhD students, there are so many masters in science, and there are so many undergrad, and there are so many the schools in the children in the school, the students in school. Okay, this is how I have to go through. So wise people will see the importance of the foundation, when to see the wonder of this, the greatness of Albert Einstein and the physics. You will see the need for the foundation. So for us, likewise, with this teaching, this should help us to see the ground is so important. So without the ground, and whereas if you feel that I received something on Mahamoudra, okay, this is like this. If you simply want to know how to, they say cognitive or intellectual knowledge, then that's a different story. Otherwise, if you really want to extract the meaning out of this, then we need to see the importance of the ground, and then accordingly, see how to bring about transformation in our day-to-day life, the day-to-day life. That's very important. Okay, with this in mind, and before I go through explanation, not explanation, or say the orientation of the what's going to be like from tomorrow. So there are many of you already from the first the teaching, the first set of the teaching. So now there are few who come here just for this second part of the teaching. So basically, you will come to know from others. It's not that complicated, it's simple. I'll give some the instructions after this practice together. Okay. In English, we have it on page 3. Okay, I hope you all have this handout. All have? Yeah. Okay. Thomas, one here.
English.
I have a French one. J'ai un français si vous voulez. J'ai une copie française. Oui, tu veux?
For tomorrow we can print your handout.
Okay. Setting up a proper motivation, which consists of 3 parts. 1, the refuge field. Visualize the Buddha Shakyamuni, His Holiness the Dalai Lama, and all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, particularly the Benjalo Samchigen, and all the lineage masters of, say, from the Nyingma tradition, Kagyu tradition, Sakya tradition, Gelugyo tradition, and the great masters from China, from Theravada. Just invoke all these great masters in a space in front of us, and particularly how you visualize them, that makes the whole difference. Visualize them as so loving, caring, and embracing to you. Then Bodhicitta field, visualize your 2 grandparents on the 2 sides, and all your dear mother sentient beings, your children, your family members, human beings, animals, insects, hungry hell beings, god and goddesses, spirits, all beings living on the side, particularly the difficult people around you. And how you visualize them, that makes the whole difference. That finally, this activation of this, the true nature of your own mind, that greatly is determined by your bodhicitta. Without this bodhicitta, then activating this clear light mind, of course, will be of the extremely difficult, even if activate it, the benefit for becoming Buddha, for the benefit of sentient beings, will not happen. So for that matter, this is so important. How you visualize them, that you are so loving and caring and embracing to each of the dear sentient beings, to the extent that each one of the sentient beings, they feel themselves as so special in your eyes. And the purpose is to practice is to awaken this Buddha nature. Oftentimes also seen in the form of the Mahamoudra. Awaken this Mahamoudra within you, the true nature of mind. And while we do have this true nature, why it is not manifest within us is for the reason that this is like a gold mixed with the mud. All the nature of the gold is to glow, but why it does not glow is because the glow is obstructed by the mud. So our job is to remove the mud, separate the gold from the mud. And how to do that? For that matter, we need to know what is the nature of this mud, metal defilements. And the metal defilements are of two kinds, the gross and the subtle. The gross one, also referred to as the afflictive obscurations. The presence of this gross mental defilements stops you from attaining nirvana or freedom from samsara. And a subtle one, referred to like the smell of garlic. After removing the garlic, still things the mug can still smell garlic. The smell of the garlic is the metaphor for the cognitive obscurations, the very subtle stains which stop you from attaining Buddhahood. And how to remove this is by applying a very powerful remedy. And what is that remedy? The wisdom of emptiness, and particularly the wisdom of emptiness, where the Mahamoudra, your subjective clear light, is manifested, and this subjective clear light, it is seeing the objective clear light. So that becomes the completion of the Mahamoudra, the great Mahamoudra. Say the subtle subjective clear light sees the objective clear light, which is the emptiness of the same, the mind. So this is going to be the final remedy to overcome all the mental defilements. And with this in mind, the purpose is to activate this clear light mind. And this clear light mind, how can this possibly be manifested in its full form, is only when complemented by the very powerful bodhicitta, love for all dear sentient beings, to lead all dear sentient beings to its ultimate happiness. Okay, there's a purpose. And we have to keep in mind that the remedy, very powerful remedy to overcome the mental defilements, these remedies, it is only through active meditation that we can expect to get rid of these mental defilements. And for this meditation, which is also referred to as the wisdom derived through meditation, to reach to that level, we need to have the conviction gained that I have the true nature, I have the true seed of the great Mahamoudra. That conviction must be gained. And to gain this conviction, you must resort to the wisdom derived through reflection. And to get this conviction, to have the wisdom derived through reflection, we need to have a very extensive wisdom derived through learning. For that, we need to have extensive studies, and this is required. So for this, we need is to find what actually helps us to remove the mental defilements, to activate this great Mahamudra, is the wisdom derived through meditation. For this, we require the wisdom derived through reflection. For this, we require the wisdom derived through the learning or the studying. So this is how we have to go. And if you really want to activate this Mahamudra within you, so this is the way. This way, only if, say, who can be the exceptional case is somebody who has so much there is a karmic connection with the teacher who has already proceeded through many of these paths in the past lives, and who is like a very ripe, like a mango or fruit, which is very expensive fruit, almost ready to be ripened. Such a disciple is without any what I call as the study, reflection, and meditation. Without following these, one can possibly activate the Mahamoudra because of your past habituation and meeting with the extremely enlightened teacher in this life. When these two things come together, then you can be the person. But it's not okay. Some of us may think that, or maybe I can be the right person. Who knows? I may be that person who, without having to study extensive studies, reflection, meditation, again, and they actualize the Mahamoudra with the help of a teacher. You may think like this. If this is who you think, if this is who you are, who think like this, for sure you are not the person. Because this person, they display very different mentalities. Their devotion to the Guru, it's just very different. And no matter what happens between the Guru and the students, how they view the Guru is very different. So look at, in the history of the humanity, we see great teachers. There are so many teachers who are said to have attained enlightenment within a single lifetime. But the person who all the traditions unanimously considers that the person has attained enlightenment in a single lifetime, within the very short lifetime, was Jesu Milarepa. And if you read the Jesu Milarepa's biography, we see that he already demonstrated, exhibited extremely unique qualities since even before he met his the teacher. He exhibited all these qualities. Even the teacher had many indications from his own teacher what this student is going to be like. So these connections are nowadays we can't really expect. But it is not to feel demoralized. The thing is that the manner in which this great teacher, Jesu Milarepa, he came with all the preparations from the past life. Likewise, in this life, we create the preparation. And some of you may be able to practice this, what we study here. Some of you may not be able to practice it. It doesn't matter. But the point is that we at least lay a very sound ground, like, say, the refraining from 10 non-virtuous actions. And always practicing compassion, always keen on learning more. And of course, respect for Dharma, respect for Buddha, respect for Dhamma, respect for Sangha. All these things are the quintessential aspects of the actualizing the Mahamoudra within you. So with this in mind, imagine that all the Buddhas, Bodhisattvas there with you, and so loving, caring, and embracing, and your two parents, all of your children, all the family members, all are there with you, and you are here leading this recitation to let everybody be activated of the basic requirements, preparing one's mind to study, reflect, and meditate on Mahamoudra. Okay, with this in mind, let's turn to page 3. And through your great compassion, you taught the Immaculate Dharma to dispel all perverted views. To you, the Buddha Gautama, I pay homage. And through your great compassion, you taught the Immaculate Dharma to dispel all perverted views. To you, the Buddha Gautama, I pay homage. And through your great compassion, you taught the Immaculate Dharma to dispel all perverted views. To you, the Buddha Gautama, I pay homage. Sanje joda zoge chonam la chanjo bado dane gyabso chi dage jinso gebe chonam ge jola benjire sanje jobare sho sanje joda zoge chonam chanjo bado dane gyabso chi dage jinso gebe chonam Droba Benjire Sanje Drubare Shung O Sanje Jona Soge Chonam La Chanju Bado Dane Gyapsoch Dage Jinso Gebe Tsonam Ge Droba Benjire Sanje Drubare Shung. I go for refuge until I'm enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma, the Sangha. By my accumulations or practice of giving and so forth, may I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. I go for refuge until I'm enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma, the Sangha. By my accumulations or practice of giving and so forth, may I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. I go for refuge until I'm enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma, the Sangha. By my accumulations or practice of giving and so forth, may I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. Independent origination, there is no ceasing, no arising, no annihilation, no permanence, no coming, no going, no separateness, no sameness. I prostrate to the consummate Buddha, the supreme among all teachers, the one who taught this peace which is free of elaborations. I prostrate to the mothers of the hearers, the bodhisattvas and the Buddhas, who through the knowledge of all lead hearers seeking pacification, complete peace, who through the knowledge of paths, course, those helping migrants achieve the aims of the world, and who through the possession of omniscience helps them to expound a variety of teachings. The one who has transformed into the reliable guide, motivated by altruism to benefit sentient beings. The teacher, Sukada and protector, to you are my prostrations. The one who has eliminated the web of conceptualizations, and is endowed with the divine bodies of the vast and the profound, who eternally shines forth the forever noble light rays, to you the Buddha make prostrations. Inspired by wisdom and compassion, today in the Buddha's presence, I generate the mindful awakening for the benefit of all sentient beings. Okay. Om ye dharma hetu prabhavam hetum te sham dathagato hyavatat te sham chayo nirodha evam vati mahashramanaye swaha. Om ye dharma hetu prabhavam hetum te sham dathagato yavatat te sham chayo nirodha evam vati mahashramanaye swaha. Om ye dharma hetu prabhavam hetum te sham dathagato hyavatat te sham chayo nirodha evam vati mahashramanaye swaha. All phenomena arise from causes. The causes are taught by the Tathagata. The cessation of causes as well is taught by the great seer. Profound, peaceful, elaboration-free, clear-line, non-composite. Such is the nectar life Dharma I have discovered. Finding no one who can fathom this teaching, in silence I will return to the words. Beyond utterance, thought, and expression is the perfection of wisdom, which is unborn, unceased, and has the nature of space. Is the object of apprehension of self-realized wisdom. To you, the mother of the Buddhas of the three times of your obeisance. Four seasons of the Buddha's teachings. All composite things are impermanent. All contaminated things are the nature of suffering. All phenomena are the nature of emptiness and selflessness. Transcendent sorrow is peace. The Guru is the Buddha, the Guru is the Dharma, likewise the Guru is the Sangha. The Guru is the source of everything wholesome. I go for refuge in the Guru. By the sound of the vibrant drum of Dharma, you liberate all beings from miseries. I beseech you to kindly remain and give teachings until the end of the expanse of billions of eons. The Buddha does not wash the negative areas of beings, nor does he remove their miseries by his hands. His spiritual realizations are not transferred to them. It is by teaching the truth of the suchness that the beings are liberated. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine the light of Dharma for all bewildered miseries gloom. Instruction on parting from the four attachments. If attached to this life, you are not a spiritual practitioner. If attached to samsara, you have no renunciation. If attached to your own self-interest, you have no bodhicitta. If there is grasping, you do not have the view. Page 14, Praise to Shakyamuni Buddha. To the founder, the enthroned transcendent destroyer, one gone beyond, the fourth destroyer, completely perfected, full awakened being, perfect in knowledge and good conduct, Sugata, knower of the world, supreme God of human beings to be tamed, teacher of gods and human beings, to you the complete and fully awakened one, the endowed transcendent destroyer, the glorious conqueror, the subduer from the Shakya clan, I prostrate, make offerings and go for refuge. When O supreme amongst humans, you are born on this earth, you pace our 7 strides, then set up supreme in this world. To you who are wise, then I prostrate. With pure bodies, formed supremely pure, wisdom ocean like a golden mountain, fame that blazes in the 3 worlds, window the best, Lord, to you I prostrate. With a supreme science face like a spotless moon, color like gold, to you I prostrate. Trustful like you, the 3 worlds are not. Incomparable wise one, to you I prostrate. The Savior having great compassion, the Founder having all understanding, the field of merited qualities like vast motion, to you the Tathagata I prostrate. The purity that free one from attachment, the virtue that frees one from the lower realms, the one path, the sublime pure reality, to the Dhamma that pacifies I prostrate. Those who are liberated and also show the path to liberation, the holy feel qualified with realizations, who are devoted to the moral precepts, to you the Sangha I prostrate. Do not commit any non-virtuous actions, perform all imperfect virtuous actions, subdue mind thoroughly, this is a teaching of the Buddha. A star, a visual aberration, a flame of lamp, an illusion, a drop of dew or a bubble, a dream, a flash of lightning, a cloud, see conditioned things as such. Through this merits may sentient beings attain the rank of all-seeing, subdue the 4 faults, and be delivered from samsara's ocean, perturbed by the ways of aging, sickness, and death. Okay, Heart Sutra, page 29. Heart Sutra, the Perfection Wisdom Sutra. I prostrate to the irretrievable gem. Thus did I hear at one time the Buddha was dwelling on the mass of vultures mountain in Rajgriha, together with a great community of monks and a great community of bodhisattvas. At that time, the Buddha was absorbed in the concentration on the categories of phenomena called profound illumination. Also at that time, the bodhisattva Mahasattva Avalokiteshvara looked upon the very practice of the profound illumination of wisdom and beheld those 5 aggregates also as empty of inherent nature. Then through the power of the Buddha, the Venerable Shariputra said this to the Bodhisattva Mahasattva Avalokiteshvara: how should any child of the lineage who wishes to practice the activity of the profound professional wisdom train? He said that, and the Bodhisattva Mahasattva Avalokiteshvara said this to the Venerable Sharitvadiputra: Shariputra, any son of the lineage or daughter of the lineage who wishes to practice the activity of the profound professional wisdom should look upon it like this, correctly and repeatedly beholding those 5 aggregates also as empty of inherent nature. Form is empty, emptiness is form. Empty is not other than form, form is also not other than emptiness. In the same way, feeling, discrimination, composite factors, and consciousness are empty. Shariputra, likewise all phenomena are empty, without characteristic, unproduced, unceased, stainless, not without stain, not deficient, not fulfilled. Shariputra, therefore, in emptiness there is no form, no feeling, no discrimination, no composite factors, no consciousness, no eye, no ear, no nose, no tongue, no body, no mind, no visual form, no sound, no smell, no taste, no object to touch, no phenomenon. There is no I element and so on, up to and including no mind element and no mental consciousness element. There is no ignorance, no extinction of ignorance, and so on, up to and including no aging and death and no extinction of aging and death. Similarly, there is no suffering, origination, cessation or path. There is no exalted wisdom, no attainment, also no non-attainment. Shariputra, therefore, because there is no attainment, bodhisattvas rely on and dwell in perfection wisdom, the mind without obscuration and thus without fear. Having completely passed beyond error, they reach the end point of nirvana. All the Buddhas who dwell in the 3 times also manifest a complete awakening to unsurpassable, perfect, complete enlightenment in reliance on the perfection of wisdom. Therefore, the mantra of the perfection of wisdom, the mantra of great knowledge, the unsurpassed mantra, mantra equal to the unequaled, the mantra that thoroughly pacifies all suffering, should be known as truth, since it is not false. The mantra of the perfection of wisdom is declared: Tiyatha Om Gade Gade Para Gade Para Sam Gade Bodhiswaha. Shariputra, the Bodhisattva, Mahasattva should train in the profound professional wisdom like that. Then the Buddha arose from that concentration and commanded the Bodhisattva, Mahasattva, Avalokiteshvara, saying, well said, son of the lineage, it is like that, it is like that. One should practice the profound professional wisdom just as you have indicated. Even the Tathagatas rejoice. The Buddha having thus spoken, Venerable Sharidvatiputra, the Bodhisattva, Mahasattva, Avalokiteshvara, those surrounding the entirety, along with the world of gods, humans, asuras, and gandharvas, were overjoyed and highly praised that spoken by the Buddha. As we recite this Harsuta mantra, let us imagine that we are all in Rajgir, where the Rajgir, the vultures speak, where the Buddha actually they commented upon this Harsuta recitation, a dialogue between Avalokiteshvara and Shariputra. Let us recite this mantra 7 times together, imagining that you, your parents, your children, and all the family, all the other sentient beings are there, right on the vulture's peak with the Buddha Shakyamuni, Avalokiteshvara, and Shariputra. Teta Om Gade Gade Paragate Parasamgate Bodhiswatyata Om Gate Gate Paragate Parasamgate Bodhiswatyata Om Gate Gate Paragate Parasamgate Bodhiswatyata Gate Gate Paragate Parasamgate Bodhiswatyata Om Gate Gate Paragate Parasamgate Bodhiswaha. By the teachings of the three supreme jewels possessing the power of truth, may inner and outer hindrance be transformed, may they be dispelled, may they be non-existent, may they be pacified, may all negative forces opposed to the Dharma be completely pacified, may the host of 80,000 obstacles be pacified, may we be separated from problems and conditions harmful to the Dharma, may all enjoyments be in accord with the Dharma, may auspicious and perfect happiness pervade this place now. Okay, 8 verse of mind training, page 35. 8 verse of mind training by Geshe Damdul. With the determination to achieve the highest aim, for the benefit of all sentient beings, which surpasses even the wish-fulfilling gem, may I hold them dear at all times. Whenever I interact with someone, may I view myself as the lowest amongst all, and from the very depths of my heart, respectfully hold others as superior. In all my deeds, may I probe into my mind, as soon as mental and emotional afflictions arise, as they endanger myself and others, may I confront them and avert them. When I see beings of unpleasant character, and those oppressed by strong negativity and suffering, may hold them dear, for they are rare to find, as if I discovered a jewel treasure. When others out of jealousy treat me wrongly with abuse, slander, and scorn, may I take upon myself the defeat and offer to others the victory. When someone whom I have helped or in whom I place great hopes mistreats me in extremely hurtful ways, may I regard them still as my precious teacher. In brief, may I offer benefit and joy to all my mothers, both directly and indirectly. May I quietly take upon myself all hurts and pains of my mothers. May all these remain undefiled by the stains of the 8 mundane concerns, and may I recognize in all things as illusions, devoid of clinging, be released from bondage. From my 2 collections, vast space that I have amassed, from working with effort and practice for a great length of time, may I become the sheep-looting Buddha for all those whose minds were blinded with ignorance. A 7th puja to prepare ourselves from these teachings. prepare a mind. So the 7 points as enumerated there, and the first making prostrations, then making offerings, then confessing negativities, requesting the 4 teachings, and requesting the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas not to pass away into nirvana, instead to stay with the sentient beings all the time, and then the dedicating your merits for the proliferation of the Buddha Dharma and for the well-being of sentient beings. So, as we read this, this is what I shared with the participants of the earlier set of the teachings, that when we do any of these readings, there are three ways of doing it. One, where the words flow. That's it. And second, where the words flow and the meanings are reflected. 2. 3, words flow, meanings are reflected, and the experience is invoked. Okay. If you say the first one, in fact, if I'm not too of the negative, I would say many of the people who do these sadhanas, they are mainly just the words flow. And they do the first reading, second reading, third reading, meanings may be flowing because it's the first time you're reading it. Then gradually the words come to you, and the words just flow there, and the meanings are not at all coming to us. And it can go like years, 5 years, 10 years, 20 years. It's a very big loss for us. And the second one is reflect on the meanings. And of course, the third one is best, invoking the experiences. For that, we need experience. If we don't experience, then we don't have the choice for the third. But with the second is extremely important. At least that the meanings are reflected. If you don't know the meanings, make sure that you learn the meanings. And every time you read it, just see the meanings reflected, and you can see the difference. Without the meanings reflected, just the words flow. You're unaware that the words flow, and your prayer is finished. And sometimes I don't know to what extent many of you feel that you have that experience, but amongst the Tibetans, and then we have the people, they have so much readings. Reading, this is important, they read it, that is important, they read it. So then, in a day they have like 20, they say like 2 hours, 3 hours of readings. My late father, he also used to be a very pious person, and he used to read a lot. He might spend about like 3-4 hours a day in reading the scriptures. And how much meanings are reflected, I'm not too sure. But of course, we cannot say that, okay, why you don't reflect the meanings for him. And if I was very young, then I have no understanding of all these things. I cannot teach him anything. And he was already doing these things with pure out of piety, out of devotion. But I'm sure that once in a while he would tell me that, in there it says there's about this, the Bodhicitta part. He was sharing with me like 1 or 2 lines. He said I could feel that he felt moved by these lines. Otherwise, it's just reading. So, what I'm saying is that if you really want to feel the change within this life, it is so important for us to take the maximum advantage of this life. Number 1, having taken birth as a human being. Number 2, having met with the Dharma, and then particularly the people here, mostly from Paris, very close to a center here, Kalachakra Center. There's Kishila there. This is so very rare opportunity. And for example, one came from Israel, and one came from England, one came from Spain. Anna there, right? Okay. Anyone else from other place? Huh? No, there I said England. She came from England, yeah. Anyone else? No? Okay. So what I'm saying is that we have to take the maximum advantage of this life. And which means that, okay, I'm going to a center, I met with the teacher, then I do these prayers, and then the next is always there's room for improvement. Focus on progress. Just see that you are progressing. If not day by day, at this, say, month, year by year, there should be some progress happening. That your experience of emptiness deepens. That your compassion expands. See that if these two things are happening. In Mahamoudra, with the Mahamoudra, that should be happening. Your compassion should be expanding. If that is not happening, where you are meditating and observing your mind, and then when you go out, then you just behave like an ordinary person with so much anger, attachment, and so forth, that's pointless. Okay. So with this mind, when we read this, just try as much to reflect on the meanings. Seven Puja excerpt from the King of Prayers, the extraordinary aspiration of the practice of Samadhi. I bow down to the youthful I am Manjushri, you the Buddhas, the lions amongst humans, God of freedom in the present, past and future, in the worlds of 10 directions. To all of you with body, speech and sincere mind, I bow down. With the energy of aspiration for the Bodhisattva way, with a sense of deep respect, and with as many bodies as atoms of the world, to all you Buddhas visualized as real, I bow down. On every particle of Buddhas, numberless as atoms, each of them is a host of Bodhisattvas, and I'm confident the sphere of all phenomena is entirely filled with the Buddhas in this way. With the infinite ocean of praise for you, and oceans of sound from the aspect of my voice, I sing the breathtaking excellence of Buddhas and celebrate all of you Sagadas. Beautiful flowers and regal garlands, sweet music, scented oils and pedestals, sparkling lights and sublime incense are offered to victorious ones, the Buddhas. Fine dress and fragrant perfumes, sandalwood powder heaped high Mount Meru. All wondrous offerings in spectacular array offered to victorious ones. Where transcendent offerings, peerless and vast, with profound admiration for all the Buddhas, with strength of conviction in the Bodhisattva way, offer and bow down to all victorious ones. Every harmful action I've done with my body, speech and mind, overwhelmed by attachment, anger and confusion, all these are openly laid bare before you. I lift my heart and rejoice in all the merits of the Buddhas and the Bodhisattvas in 10 directions, of solitary realizers here still training and those beyond, and of all ordinary beings. You who are the bright lights of the worlds in 10 directions, who have attained a Buddha's omniscience through the stage of awakening. All you who are my guides, please turn the supreme will of Dharma. With palms together, I earnestly request you who may actualize Parinirvana, please stay with us for aeons numberless as atoms of the world, and for the happiness and well-being of all wanderers in samsara. Whatever slight merit I may have accumulated by making prostration, offering and confessing, rejoicing and requesting that the Buddhas stay and teach, I now dedicate all this for the full awakening of all beings. Okay, mandal offering. Mandal offering, the idea is that we offer whatever best that you have, whatever best you can think of, whether visible or not seen, visualize, whatever, all these you offer in great abundance, you offer to all the Buddhas, Bodhisattvas. Okay, and we have to know the reason why this has to be done. Okay, so basically the idea is that if you look at how the mind behaves, say to somebody who you love, that person, the degree to which you love the person, to that extent, you don't feel the feeling of stinginess making the offering. You notice that? So you love somebody so much, you just give everything. So the parents giving everything to the children. I don't know whether children give everything to parents. Not so. Okay. So the parents, particularly when the child is very young, the parents, they just give it time, resources, energy, everything to the child. This is something that we have to learn. We have to reflect on and reconsider the interaction with your relationship with your parents. This is something that we have to reconsider. With your children, it's very beautiful, no doubt. But the parents, this is not happening. This that we have to reconsider. Okay, so maybe in the course of the few days of our teaching, I'm sure these talks will come once in a while. Okay. So the point is that we offer the best thing in the greatest abundance to all Buddhas, Bodhisattvas. We're actually connecting ourselves to the Buddhas, Bodhisattvas. We connect ourselves. Why do they need connection? Connection meaning sense of receptivity, admiration in the qualities of Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, particularly the quality of love, quality of knowledge, and the quality of their power. So you feel admiration and these qualities, so that you will also imbibe these qualities yourself to benefit all the demon sentient beings. This ground anointed with perfume, strewn with flowers, adorned with Mount Meru, the 4 continents, the sun and the moon. I imagine this as a Buddha field and offer it. May all sentient beings enjoy this pure land. O Sajebe Ge Joshe Mendo Tam Re Rab Le Jaya Da Gamba De Sanye Shen Do Me De Levaye Jogun Nam Da Jen Lai Che Barai Sho. The 4 Dhammas of Venerable Kambupa. May I be blessed that my mind is directed towards the Dhamma. May I be blessed that my Dhamma practices on the proper path. May I be blessed that the path is free of flaws. And may I be blessed that flaws are seen in the light of exalted wisdom. The 4 Dhammas of Venerable Bhikshu Mahasattva. Becoming utterly frustrated with the ignorance that grasps the true existence, please bless me to generate genuine renunciation, seeing all aspects of samsara as viciously repulsive. Please bless me that my mind stream overflows with the precious bodhicitta that cherishes others more than myself. Please bless me to have an immaculate experience of the wisdom of emptiness that does not see even an atom of intrinsic reality on the basis of understanding how things come into being by dependent origination through mere conditioning. Please bless me that my mind stream overflows with the precious wisdom of the non-duality bliss and emptiness. Edam Guru Rana Mendra Lagam Nirateyami. Okay, next. The roadmap to Buddhahood, the foundation of all good qualities. By Lama Tsongkhapa. The foundation of all good qualities is a kind and perfect pure Guru. Correct devotion to him is the root of the path. By clearly seeing this and applying great effort, please bless me to rely upon him with great respect. Understanding that the precious freedom of this birth is found only once, is really meaningful and is difficult to find again. Please bless me to generate the mind that unceasingly, day and night, takes its essence. This life is as impermanent as a water bubble. Remember how quickly it decays and death comes. After death, just like a shadow follows the body, the results of virtues and non-virtues come and follow. Finding firm and definite conviction in this, please bless me always to be careful to abandon even the slightest negativity and accomplish all virtuous deeds. Samsaric splendors are unsatisfying and unreliable. Seeking them is a door to all suffering. Recognizing these shortcomings, please bless me to generate the strong wish for the bliss of liberation. Led by this pure thought, mindfulness, alertness, and great question arise. The root of teaching is keeping the bird at the moksha vows. Please bless him to accomplish this essential practice. Just as I have fallen into the sea of samsara, so have fallen by my creator beings. Please bless me to see this twin and supreme bodhicitta and bear the responsibility of freeing my creator beings. Even if I develop bodhicitta but I don't practice the 3 types of morality, I'll not achieve enlightenment. With my clear recognition of this, please bless me to practice the bodhisattva vows with great energy. Once I have pacified distractions to wrong objects and correctly analyze the meaning of reality, Please bless me to generate quickly with my mind stream the unified path of karma abiding special insight. Having become a pure vessel by training the general path, please bless me to enter the holy gateway of the fortunate ones, the Supreme Vajra vehicle. At that time, the basis of accomplishing the two attainments is keeping pure vows and samaya. As I have become firmly convinced of this, please bless me to protect these vows and pledges along my life. Then, having realized the importance of the two stages, the essence of Vajrayana, by practicing with great energy, never giving up the 4 sessions, please bless me to realize the teachings of the Holy Guru. Like that, may the Gurus who showed the noble path and the spiritual friends who practice it long lives. Please bless me to pacify completely all outer and inner hindrances in all my lives, never separate from perfect Gurus, to enjoy the magnificent Dharma by completing the qualities of the stage on the path, may I quickly attain the state of Vajratara. Okay, we'll say this mantra 3 times. First the English or the French and then the Tibetan. You are Avalokiteshvara, great treasure of non-referential compassion, and Manjushri, master of flawless wisdom, as well as Vajrapani, destroy hosts of demons without exception. Tsongkhapa, crown jewel of the sage of the land of snows, Lapsanta by their feet and make prostrations. As we recite this mixed mantra, those who are coming here, who just came today, this mantra actually originally it was written by Lama Tsongkhapa himself, as a praise to his teacher. His teacher's name is Jesu Rendawa Shunulutu. And he equated his teacher with the 3 Buddhas, Buddha of compassion, Buddha of wisdom, and the Buddha of power. That is Avalokiteshvara, Manjushri, and Vajrapani. And then the teacher read what was given to him, and he deleted his name. He just replaced his name by the student's name, Lama Tsongkhapa's name. Said that this praise fits better with you. And they gave it back to Lama Tsongkhapa. And then this came to be so widely being recited to invoke the blessings of Lama Tsongkhapa all over Tibet. Okay, so in ways to sing this in the form of the melody, we skip the 3rd line, not for any other reason, just to accommodate the melody. Okay, we'll say this 3 times together. bam lo sa cha me sham lai so wan den. Okay, so before we wind up, I go to explain a little bit about what we should be doing from tomorrow. We will turn to page 50 in English. Taking the aspiration bodhisattva vow. Let us generate, on the day one, let us generate very fresh bodhisattva spirit, which is aspiration bodhisattva vow. And of course, if somebody were to actually take this teaching on the Mahamoudra, of course, the bodhicitta, the bodhisattva vow is mandatory. Without bodhisattva vow, there's no way by which we can take this teaching on the Mahamoudra. Okay, so for this matter, just invoke the spirit, invoke the blessings of all the Buddhist bodhisattvas. In other words, visualize Buddha Shakyamuni, His Holiness the Dalai Lama, and all the enlightened beings, the great masters like the master Saraha, the master Tilopa, master then Naropa, Jesu Marpa, Jesu Mila, Jesu Tapaleji, and all these great masters, the masters of this Kagyu tradition, and then eventually passed down to Jesu Losam Chugin, and I received this teaching from His Holiness the Dalai Lama. So just invoke the blessings of all the enlightened beings there, the masters in this lineage. And each one of them is so loving, caring, and embracing. And your two parents, your children, and all dear mothers and siblings around you. And here you are so loving, caring, and embracing. And with the aspiration to become Buddha for the benefit of dear mothers and sentient beings. And that too, to become Buddha as soon as possible, as quickly as possible, that the beings can be liberated from suffering as quickly as possible, as efficiently as possible. So with this great compassion as the driving force, and let us invoke the spirit, may I become Buddha for the benefit of all sentient beings. Okay, with this bodhicitta spirit, let us recite the 3 verses together. The first verse 3 times. I go for refuge to the triple gem. I confess the negativities individually. I rejoice in the virtues of all the beings. I hold the precious Buddhahood of my heart. Okay, I need to explain this, particularly for those people who are coming today. I need to explain this, the meanings, and from tomorrow morning, I'll make it a point, no need to explain this. The first verse, which we read just now, the commitment that we made is that may I become Buddha for the benefit of all sentient beings. So this is the commitment that we made, that I should become Buddha. And in other words, that you are going to undertake a journey, a very important journey, the most important journey that we can think of, the journey of Buddhahood. And this journey we've never made before. And to make this journey is quite a long journey, a quite challenging journey, very important journey. It requires great support, and the greatest of the support that you can think of is the triple gem. So the first line says, I go for refuge to the triple gem, the Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha. Then so this journey, of course, the road must be clear. If the road is blocked by the boulders, trees fallen trees, then you cannot have the smooth journey. So for that matter, the road is none other than your own mind This mind must be freed of the blockages like the mental defilements, negative karmas, and so forth. Try best to remove the blockages. So that is best done by confessing negativities. Second line says, I confess the negativities individually. So now the road is clear. But if the car does not have the fuel to go, again you cannot undertake the journey. This car is none other than mind. And this mind should have enough fuel, the fuel of merit, the fuel of virtues. So therefore, right from the beginning, I've been emphasizing so much that this practice of the Mahamoudra requires a tremendous merit on the part of the individual. It's not that easy. Okay, so the best way by which to do so in a very effective way is by rejoicing in the virtues of others. Third line says, I rejoice in the virtues of all the other beings, like Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, the Shravakas, Predic Buddhas, and your friends, yourself, whosoever have accumulated, rejoice in these virtues. Okay, so now the road is clear and the car is in the fuel. What kind of journey are you going to undertake? I'm going to undertake the journey of Buddhahood. So the fourth line reads, I hold the precious Buddhahood in my heart. Okay, with this mind, let's say this 2 times more. I go for refuge to the triple gem. I confess the negativities individually. I rejoice in the virtues of all the beings. I hold the precious Buddhahood in my heart. I go for refuge to the triple gem. I confess the negativities individually. I rejoice in the virtues of all the beings. I hold the precious Buddhahood in my heart. Okay, the next 2 verses, these 2 are again very important, the important factors for activating the seed of the Buddhahood within us. And you invoke the Gurus, Buddhas, and Bodhisattvas to pay heed to you. And the first verse is, how can you become Buddha? In the history of the humanity, who do you see as somebody who became enlightened? So in the most evident form, we see the Buddha Shakyamuni. And all the past Buddhas, how did they succeed in becoming Buddha? On the basis of 2 main factors. One factor is the initial motivation to become Buddha. That is a bodhicitta, very strong bodhicitta, and may I become Buddha for the benefit of all sentient beings. Then the next part is to materialize this aspiration. What did they do? They made the commitment, may I become Buddha. But then what did they do to become a Buddha? They engaged in the bodhisattva deeds. 6 perfections plus 4 perfections, making 10 perfections. 6 perfections: perfection of generosity, perfection of ethics, perfection of patience, perfection of enthusiasm, perfection of samadhi, perfection of the wisdom, then perfection of skillfulness, perfection of aspiration prayers, perfection of power, and perfection of primordial wisdom. 10 perfections. So it is them who engaged in the 10 perfections, practice of 10 perfections, they eventually become the Buddha. So if that is the case, then I will also follow the footsteps initially by generating a very strong bodhicitta, the second verse, by generating a very strong bodhicitta, and then to materialize the aspiration, will engage in the bodhisattva practices, 10 perfections. Okay, let's say this together 3 times. Gurus, Buddhas, and Bodhisattvas, please be here to me. Just as the previous Buddhas have generated the mind of bodhicitta, and just as they successfully dwelt in the bodhisattva practices, likewise for the benefit of all sentient beings, I will generate the mind of bodhicitta, and I will shall a true success to follow the bodhisattva practices. Gurus, Buddhas, and Bodhisattvas, please be here to me. Just as previous Buddhas have generated the mind of bodhicitta, and just as they successfully dwell in the bodhisattva practices, likewise for the benefit of all sentient beings, I will generate the mind of bodhicitta, and I shall to successfully follow the bodhisattva practices. Gurus, Buddhas, and Bodhisattvas, please be here to me. Just as previous Buddhas have generated the mind of bodhicitta, and just as they successfully dwell in the bodhisattva practices, likewise for the benefit of all sentient beings, I will generate the mind of bodhicitta, and I shall to successfully follow the bodhisattva practices. Okay. Yes, we'll recite the next page 51. And this verse is to connect us with the teaching on the bodhicitta wisdom and emptiness throughout our future lifetimes. We'll say these 3 times together. Throughout my future lifetimes, may I always be guided by the compassion of Buddha and be able to uphold the true precious bodhicittas even in the course of my life. Throughout my future lifetimes, may I always be guided by the compassion of Buddha and be able to uphold the true precious bodhicittas even in the course of my life. Throughout my future lifetimes, may I always be guided by the compassion of Buddha and be able to uphold the true precious bodhicittas even in the course of my life. In order to further increase this bodhicitta from now on, those with discernment who have lucidly seized and awakened the mind of bodhicitta in this way should highly praise in the following manner. Today my life has borne fruit. Having well obtained this human existence, I've been born in the family of the Buddha, and now I'm one of Buddha's children. Thus whatever actions I do from now on must be in accord with the family. Never shall I disgrace or pollute this noble or unsullied race. Just like a blind person discovering a jewel in the heap of rubbish, likewise by some coincidence, an awakened mind has been born within me. Is there a supreme ambrosia that overcomes the sovereignty of death? Is the inexhaustible treasure that eliminates all poverty in the world? Is a supreme medicine that quells the world's disease? Is a truth of shelter of all beings wandering entirely on the path of the conditioned existence? Is a universal bridge that leads to the freedom from unhappy states of birth? Is the dawning moon of the mind that dispels the torment of disturbing conceptions? Is a great sun that finally removes the eight mixed ignorance of the world? It is the quintessential butter from the churn of the milk of Dharma. For all those guests traveling on the path of conditioned existence who wish to experience the boundless happiness, this will satisfy them with joy, and it shall place them in the supreme bliss. Today, in the presence of all the protectors, I invite the world to be guests at a festival temporary and ultimate delight. May God's demigods and all be joyful. Okay. From tomorrow, the morning we have the practice from 6 to 8. And so this practice is extremely, particularly for this teaching. And usually the tradition has it that for these teachings, this is known as the Mahamoudra practice. Mahamoudra is the preliminaries. So some people spend like 3 years in Mahamoudra preliminary just to do the preliminaries, and then once that is done, you go into the actual teaching. And the teaching, they are given only like 15 minutes, only 15 minutes by the teacher, and whole 1 week you have to practice it. It's not like hours and hours of teaching. It never happens like this. Then let's say 15 minutes of the teaching, then you are expected to go into your own retreat cell, meditation cell. You meditate there for like whole 1 week, and then you report this to your teacher, what you experience. Then the teacher will give you the next 15 minutes teaching, just like a few lines, and then again you practice it. This is tradition. So here, so because these are the traditions, and these traditions are so precious that you will actually feel that the Mahamoudra is activated within you. So whereas how we do it, if we do it with the least sense of, let's say, the respect for the Dharma and no ground of at least like preliminaries such as a little bit of renunciation, bodhicitta, single point meditation, and then the compassion, and the wisdom of family. If these things are missing, then the teaching on the Mahamoudra is really pointless. At least from our side, at least there should be some kind of sense of value of the whole Dharma. It is said that, in fact, for these teachings, even your spiritual brothers sisters, meaning the people who receive the teachings, you should become like what is known as a Vaishnava brothers, Vaishnava sisters. They consider it so important, and if there's a little bit of conflict happening inside each other, realizations will be hampered, will come to halt. And if you lose respect for these teachings, no chance of the realizations coming. So we should be extremely careful, and for this matter, the morning practices, we take it very seriously. Very seriously. And of course, for your own benefit, finally what we seek is the fearlessness and infinite happiness. And the fearlessness, of course, is more personal. the wisdom of emptiness, and the renunciation. Whereas for the infinite happiness, the dilemma is not really a dilemma. It is the irony that you want the infinite happiness, and then what actually gives you the infinite happiness? The infinite love for others, infinite wish to give infinite happiness for others. That gives you the infinite happiness. In other words, that you are seeking infinite happiness and cherishing others infinitely. These two are synonymous at a certain point. So for us beginners, okay, so say in a family, you may say that, let's say, husband and wife, okay, today I'll go for the Kalachakra retreat, right? So, no, last time you did. No, please let me go, because I want to, experience the Buddhahood first. So what I'm saying is that say in our case, as on the beginner level, we see that, say, want to do dharma, these things, they are more related to the selfish interest, personal interest. Actually, that is for what? For Buddhahood. Buddhahood means other cherishing. So initially, yes, that is how it works. And don't worry too much. Okay, look, even that's also selfish, this is also selfish. Then I'm supposed to be doing minor practice, but it's very selfish. No, just initially there's a mixture of the selfishness, other cherishing, little bit other cherishing, little bit of sacrifice, a mixture. And even as your practice becomes better, more and more reinforced, then you will reach to a point where you realize that, wow, that's amazing. You cherish others, more you cherish others, more you get the benefit. My benefit and cherishing others, these two are synonymous. You will see that. Then wholeheartedly you will cherish others without any expectation in return. This is extremely beautiful. Initially, we can't really imagine that such things can happen. And over time, it will happen. So where cherishing others, this is your whole goal, and you become so courageous. And this is where, then on the corner of your mind, you may think that, who will take care of me then? No, this will not come. At the moment, what happens to the beginners is that, if I give everything for others, then when I suffer, who will take care of me? So this is when our spiritual realities are very weak. But this is how we have to begin. So the morning practice is extremely important one. Then the next part is we have the group discussions. I would say yes, group discussion is very important. And I would say that for this teaching, I will not have 3 teachings in a day. We'll have only 2 teachings. And one session we'll dedicate on your personal meditation. Whatever we learn, we meditate on this. We practice the meditation. Okay. Then of course, when they say what I teach, you meditate. Say one session we can dedicate for that purpose, but if possible, try to come together. And whereas in some cases collectively there is some hindrance, some obstacle here and there, some disturbance here and there, where you wholeheartedly you feel that is a disturbance. They do in the collective, in group meditation, then you can sit some other places by yourself and do your practice. Okay, this is one thing. And then the next point that is very important that I'd like to share with you is that the preliminary practices are so important, like renunciation, bodhicitta, wisdom, and FPMT. If these 3 things are missing, then so no matter how much your time spent on observing your mind, awareness of the awareness, you will not at all get anything, and it can be counterproductive. So that let's say in the mornings we do a shamatha meditation. We meditate on the breath. What I would suggest is that include this breath meditation, breathing meditation. Includes breathing meditation, and then you do a little bit of the awareness meditation, again followed by breathing meditation. You try to alternate between the two. Don't do too much of the awareness meditation, because when we are not ready with all these, for example, in the traditional sense, you are expected to sit for like a few months of preliminary practice. Without this, you will not be even given the teaching at all. So this is a tradition, and there's reason there. But nowadays, it's so easily given everywhere, right? And the reason why I accepted this topic, first Venerable Elizabeth requested if I can do a teaching. Then I said okay, and then I said what topic, and this topic came to me. And usually I'm hesitant to do these teachings, but why I nowadays do a little bit of this teaching is for the reason that you see that this teaching is so easily given everywhere. It's given everywhere, and then then without giving any warnings, and people just go there in this direction, and it can be very dangerous. Initially, at one point, I was actually doing this practice myself. When I was doing this in a retreat, and I sensed something, this is very dangerous practice. If your mind is not ready, so this is why these great teachers, they create this tradition of doing all the preliminaries. When your mind is not ready, then it can easily slip into mental laxity. Mental laxity meaning? Anybody? What does mental laxity mean? Anyone? Raise hands. Sleepiness, dullness, mental lethargy, no clarity. The mind is like like a coma. This is very dangerous, extremely dangerous. Mahamoudra practice, of course, very dangerous. Even the 10-day Vipassana meditation. Goenkaji's 10-day Vipassana meditation, very popular one all over the world. Even this practice, somebody who did it for like 3 years finally reported about his personal experience. He was a very sincere practitioner, and he said that his natural tendency for the proactivity, the sign of kind of curiosity, that mindset is collapsed after 3 years of that meditation. He becomes very calm, peaceful. Somebody's nasty thing, okay, calm, peaceful. Somebody good things, calm, peaceful, no effect. And the house is burning, still is calm, peaceful. Very dangerous. The proactivity diminished. So this is not because of the mistake of the meditation, it's because of the mistake of how you do it. Without the proper prerequisites, it's very dangerous. So this is what I felt. And then so from that, then I see that this teaching is so easily given to everywhere, so easily given by anybody. Then I thought, this is very dangerous, and people are really being misguided. Instead of helping, it can create a major harm in the long run. So, what I expect here is that since I know some of you, like the Venerable Elizabeth, of course, all this like more than 50 years into Dharma and great service to the Dharma. They work with the centers, already create so much merit, no doubt. And I know the Venerable Jimbala to some extent, and some of you, Patrick, Maria, and some of you from the earlier retreats, and the senior, junior, old, and 2 Virginies, right? Okay, and Sophie. Okay, so there's some from Narendra Master's course, Narendra Bloom course. Laura from NDC 2, NDC 3. Oh, huh?
NDC 2 and NDC 3.
Okay, NDC 2 and 3 both. Yeah, and Kristen. NDC 3. Okay. Any more? Okay, there. Anna? NDC 3. 2. 2. Okay. And Sophie? NMC? NDC 1. NDC 2. Okay, anyone else? Huh? Ben? Yes, of course. Ben for NDC 2. Yes. Okay, in fact, they each other know more than. Okay. So what I'm saying is that for this practice, what is required is the knowledge of psychology is very important. Buddhist psychology. Buddhist psychology, and there's no harm in knowing the Freudian psychology, no harm. But you must know the Buddhist psychology. With the Buddhist psychology, you will see your mind. You will see your mind better. And once you see your mind better through the Buddhist psychology, know the Buddhist psychology, you know your mind better. Once you know your mind better, then the next is they said practice a little bit of the single point of meditation, like the breathing meditation, or the Buddha image meditation, or say, I would say for time being, like Buddha image meditation or the breathing meditation. That's required. So with these two intact, then the psychology that we are learning alongside, then go into the subtler psychology. A subtler psychology, there are several aspects. Know all these things well and try to observe your mind to see what is taught in the study of psychology makes sense to you. And meanwhile, your single point meditation, breathing meditation, or the Buddha image meditation, so forth, you go with these. And then the emptiness meditation will be very helpful. Emptiness meditation will make your mind so agile, and it can just maneuver your mind extremely skillfully. So that way, then you observe, you go into the awareness of awareness meditation, Mahamoudra meditation. So you go through this, and it's tempting. In fact, you read many of the Mahamoudra teachings, you will not get a direct teaching there. You will never see anywhere to tell you that this experience that you will get. No, you will never find it. You read any Mahamoudra teachings, you will not find it there, because it's very strange. If I were to explain what's the taste of the chocolate, how can I explain it? Anyone? How would you explain the taste of a chocolate? Huh? It's like this, trying to explain the taste of a chocolate. You can't really explain it. Finally, you have to tell the eat it. Likewise, the Mahamoudra experience. You know where. Say, there are big texts, books on Mahamoudra. Like Moonlight Mahamoudra, Ganga Mahamoudra. All these great teachings by the authentic masters. You would nowhere you will see that, okay, this is kind of experience. No. Just some clues are given there from here. Some the light, so the fire, then heat. You could feel the heat. So these teachings will take you there. And then on your purification level, Guru devotion, all this combined together, then we'll experience this gradually. Okay, this is therefore, when I see that this teaching is being given so easily everywhere, and people actually are meditating without any basics, then I feel that it's very unfortunate. So, what I expect is that for us, there's no harm, even though you are not prepared with all these preliminaries, there's no harm as long as you have respect for this teaching. This is minimum required. If this is missing, then the purpose is defeated. Everything is defeated. At least there should be some respect for this teaching. That is very important. And readiness to, okay, when I get the opportunity, I will try to comply with the preliminaries to the best I can. These and the sentiments must be there. And to know these is so important, to know about what is explained, and then they say while we're together. As I said earlier, that instead of 3 teachings, we'll have 2 teachings and then 1 teaching. And I would say that the 1 teaching will be more directed into Mahamoudra. 1 teaching will be more into the preliminaries. Okay, this is what we'll do. And then the 1 session will dedicate on the practice. So what you do is that because we are here in a proper environment, you try to follow the instruction given on this meditation. You try this. And when you're here, that's fine. Then when you leave this place, if you really think that this is you're going to do, if you're really sure, then I would suggest you to go for more extensive studies on the meditation, on bodhicitta, on the wisdom of emptiness. You must go for more extensive studies of these to make your mind more agile. The mind must be. If the mind is not agile, the thing is, it will go into laxity, mental laxity. And once you go into mental laxity, it's very dangerous. It's very difficult to come out. The mind can become very lax and it'll build a very bad habit. Okay. So, what the point that I'm sharing with you is that there's no harm in learning these things. And at least, if you learn it so well with the deepest of respect for this teaching, and you learn it so well, okay, this is what is said there, this is, although it's far away from my experience, but this is what is being said, like this. You learn it so well. Then later on, as you learn the Buddhist psychology, you can see that many of things, somehow the points indicated in the Buddhist psychology, they will reveal themselves to you in a very different way. And then later on, when the time is ripe for you, where from your side you are ready with the bodhicitta, renunciation, bodhicitta, and so forth, and then a little exposure of this teaching, instantly you can feel that you are at home, and you can just flow in this meditation full swing. Okay, this is a benefit. Okay, that's it. Yeah, we'll stop here. And we will do the end-derivation prayer. Derivation, the longer one. English, page 288. Additional derivation prayers. Okay. Let us, page 288 in English, let us dedicate merits that scattered to us, that His Holiness the Dalai Lama lives long and that his wishes be fulfilled spontaneously. Also, let us dedicate merits that scattered that all the great teachers of the big monastic universities, which are like the storehouse of the Buddha Dharma, like the Mount Everest from which all the stream of the Dharma flows, that they all live long, have a good health, and their wishes be fulfilled spontaneously. Also, let's pray that all these big monastic universities of the different traditions, Sakya, Kagyu, Nyingma, Gelug, from the Chinese tradition, from the Theravada tradition, from the Tibetan tradition, all these centers thrive in activities of study, reflection, meditation of the 2 bodhicittas. And let us also pray that all those people who died to COVID-19 and other ones as well, may they take a favorable birth to meet with the Dharma of the wisdom of emptiness, the fearless mind of the wisdom of emptiness, and the most appealing mind of the bodhicitta, which cherishes others more than oneself. And may all these, the man-made, the wars, border conflicts, tensions, and the divisions in the different countries, and the domestic violence, all these stop, and the people can sigh with the relief and live in harmony and peace. So with this mind, let us do the dedication verses. In the land encircled by snow mountains, you are the source of all happiness and good. All powerful, generous Tenzin Gyatso, please remain until samsara ends. Just as a brave Manchu shared in Samadhi the true realized things there are. Also, I dedicate all these merits in the best way that I may follow the above example. I dedicate all these rituals of virtue with the direction praised as the best by all the Buddhas who appeared in 3 times, so that I might perform the noble Bodhisattva's deeds. May the Supreme Bodhicitta that is not risen arise and grow, and may that which is arisen not diminish but increase forevermore. As long as space remains, as long as sentient beings remain, until then may I too remain to dispel the miseries of the world. Due to the merits of these virtuous actions, may I quickly attain the state of a Guru Buddha, and lead all beings without exception into their enlightened state. I dedicate the merit thus gathered towards the realization of the deeds and the prayers of all the Buddhas and the Bodhisattvas of 3 times, and to the upholding of the Dharma of teaching and realization. May I in all lives, through the force of this merit, never separate from the 4 wheels of the Mahayana vehicle, and accomplish all the stages of the path, renunciation, bodhicitta, perfect in the 2 stages. With the wish to free all beings, I shall always go for refuge to the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha, until I reach full enlightenment. Inspired by wisdom and compassion, today in the Buddha's presence, I generate the mind of full awakening for the benefit of all sentient beings. I go for refuge to the Triple Gem. I confess the negativities individually. I rejoice in the virtues of all the beings. I hold the precious Buddhahood in my heart. By the power of practicing and supplicating to you, may all be free from sickness, poverty, and conflicts, and may Dharma be auspicious and proliferate in all the places where we abide. The path of union of emptiness compassion is loosely explained by the protector Buddha, Dharma, and the beings of the land of snows. With the lotus hold the Tenzin Gyatso, we supplicate you that your wishes are fulfilled spontaneously. May the operations, the evil thoughts and deeds of the negative forces of humans and non-humans, who have by malice through perverted prayers against the teachings of the Buddhas, be totally vanquished through the power of the truth of the 3 jewels. In all my lives, never separated from perfect gurus, may enjoy the magnificent Dharma by completing the quality of stages and the paths, may could attain the state of Vajratara. Throughout my future lifetimes, may always be guided by Manjushri and be able to uphold the Dharma in general and the teachings on the pattern origination in particular, even in the course of my life. Teata Vam Gate Gate Paragate Parasam Gate Bodhi Swaha Teata Om Gate Gate Paragate Parasam Gate Bodhi Swaha Tyata Om Gate Gate Paragate Parasam Gate Bodhi Swaha Tyata Om Gate Gate Paragate Parasam Gate Bodhi Swaha. Okay, 3 processions together.